Lesson number 3, what we're going to study is about mean and variance. What we're going to do for this lesson is to compute for the mean and variance of a certain event given the probabilities of those events. So, before we start the computation, let us first define the mean and the variance. I know you already have an idea of what a mean and variance is, but let me just refresh that to you. Baka may mga nakakalimot na. So again, when we say mean, we are referring to the average of a certain event. Or sa madaling salita, the score that will reflect in the average is the most seen score, or yung occurrence nung score na yon is mostly seen if you will look at the raw scores. So, karamihan ng scores nagfo-fall sa ganung score if that is the mean. For example, bibigyan ko kayo ng numerical values para mas madali nating maintindihan. Let's say, in a given scenario, the mean is 85. So, ito lang yung alam natin. The mean is 85. So, meaning to say, if the mean is 85, among the raw scores, 85 yung most occurred na scores, o kaya naman close to 85 yung karamihan sa mga scores na nakikita nyo sa raw scores. Okay po? So, yun yung mean. Next is the variance. When we say variance naman po, it explains or parang it reflects how spread your scores are with each other or in terms of sa mean. Gaano ba kalayo yung mga raw scores mo, parang in approximately, chine-check niya kung gaano kalayo yung raw scores mo sa mean. Yun yung ibig sabihin ng variance. Parang ang mangyayari, for example, bakit kaya ako nagkaroon ng ganitong conclusion? Tapos kung babalikan mo yung mga raw scores mo, tas makikita mo yung value for the variance and makikita mo yung value for the mean, dun mo makikita na, okay, kaya ako nagkaroon ng ganitong conclusion. It is because ganito yung value ng variance ko and ganito yung value ng mean ko. So, ilagay natin siya sa layman's term para mas maintindihan nyo po. So, I'll give you an example. Ito ay siguro makaka-relate kayo. Let's say, meron tayong 5 subjects. Tapos, dun sa 5 subjects na yon, yung una kong subject, ang grade ko ay 98. Yung pangalawa kong subject, ang grade ko ay 99. Tapos, ang third subject ko, ang grade ko ay 95. Tapos, sa fourth subject, ang grade ko ay 84. Tapos, pagdating sa fifth subject, ang grade ko ay 96. So, ngayon, getting the average of these grades, makakakuha ako ng mean na equal to 94.4. Parang, ang gusto mo or parang ang gusto mong i-prove is aabot ka ng with highest honors. Pero dahil sa ganito yung raw score mo and ganito yung naging average mo, hindi ka ngayon aabot ng with highest honors. So ngayon, in reality, 'di ba hindi naman natin nakikita tong raw scores na to. Ang nakikita lang natin is the mean and the variance, which is yung variance nito, malamang sa malamang, is malaki. Parang big yung value niya. So, ibig sabihin, dahil big yung value niya, this might be the reason kung bakit hindi ka makakapasok ng highest honors. Na kung titingnan mo, i-relate mo siya sa raw scores mo, dahil dito sa score na or dahil sa grade na 84, hindi ka makakapag highest honor kahit ang grade mo is 98, 99, 95, and 96. So, parang ganun yung dating ng, or parang ganun yung reason kung bakit tayo kumukuha ng mean, bakit tayo kumukuha ng variance. Kasi from here, makikita natin yung parang na-foresee natin etong mga raw scores na to. Kasi in reality, di ba, hindi nyo to nakikita. Ang nakikita lang natin or ang binibigay lang sa atin sa statistics is etong mean, eto lang ding variance. But the rest of the raw scores ay hindi nyo naman yan makikita isa-isa. 'Di ba? Kasi napakadami ng, sabihin na natin ang raw scores nyo is 1,000. I-check mo ba 'yon isa-isa? 'Di ba hindi naman? So sa makikita na lang natin yun sa mean at saka sa variance. If malaki yung value ng variance mo, ibig sabihin nun, may problema sa raw scores mo. So, parang ganun yung reason behind the mean and the variance kung bakit natin siya kailangang i-compute. Kasi later on, magagamit nyo to sa research ninyo na bakit kaya ganito yung conclusion. Sige nga, kunin nga natin yung mean and yung variance niya. Tapos, dun yung marirealize na, okay, kaya pala ganun yung mean natin at kaya pala naging ganun yung conclusion natin. It is because malaki yung variance. Na pag malaki yung variance, ang ibig sabihin nun, kumbaga yung spreadity ng scores ninyo sa isa't isa is sobrang lalayo. Kaya, ang nagiging result is, hindi nagiging maganda yung result. So, yun yung reason behind these two things kung bakit siya importante at bakit natin siya kino-compute. So much for that. Let's now denote or parang let's now identify the denotations or what are the denotations that we're going to use for the mean and the variance. Usually, di ba, nasanay kayo nung junior high na the mean is usually denoted as X bar. Pero po, since we are in the higher statistics, we will not use this X bar anymore, but instead, what we're going to use is yung mu na tinatawag or yung maarteng U. Paano yun isusulat, ma'am? Isulat po siya ng ganito. Ganyan siya ang kaarte. Para siyang letter U na maarte or parang letter M. Hindi ko alam kung paano nyo siya na-view. Pero, pwede nyo siyang isulat na as U na ganyan, tas lagyan nyo ng parang buntot sa kabilang side. So, basta ganyan ang itsura ng mean natin. Bakit ito yung gagamitin natin? Kasi, gagamit na tayo ng yung variable na X, ginagamit siya for other denotation naman. Kaya, hindi na po natin yan gagamitin. Again, this is the, wag palang underline. This is the symbol for our mean. Mu ang tawag dyan. Next, for the variance naman po, the denotation for variance is sigma squared. Yung sigma ay parang maarteng O, tapos may squared sa taas. Yan yung ibig sabihin, or yan yung denotation po ng variance. Under variance, we have the so-called standard deviation. Na itong standard deviation ay nag-function din siya as kagaya ng variance na it talks about or it refers to how spread the scores are. Pero itong standard deviation, mas detailed siya na parang binibigyan niya kayo ng overview ng gaano kalayo yung score sa mean, yung mismong raw score. Parang approximately, gaano kalayo yung isang raw score sa mean, sa standard deviation ha. And we denote standard deviation as sigma din. Again, pag variance, sigma squared. Pag standard deviation, sigma lang. So, ibig sabihin, yung standard deviation is just the square root of your variance. Tapos, again, for the mean, yung mu or yung, ayan, yung symbol niya is parang maarteng U. So, let's now start the computation for mean and variance with the use of the probability. So, let's say, the given problem is a professor regularly gives multiple choice quizzes with 5 questions. Over time, he has found the distribution of the number of wrong answers on his quizzes is as follows. So, this is the number of wrong answers and this is the probability of getting 0 or no wrong answers at all. You have 1 mistake, 2 mistakes, 3 mistakes, 4 mistakes, and 5 mistakes. And the probability is already given. In reality, this probability is already given and for you to check if the given probabilities are correct, the sum of this one should be equal to 1. Always po. The probability of or the sum of these probabilities should always be equal to 1. Hindi not greater than 1 or not less than 1, but equal to 1 po. Always po iyon. And then, in solving for the mean for this given problem, by the way, this problem po is written in your PDF file or yung module po. So, if you cannot follow po, you can open your module and you can find the numbers or the problems there. So, for us to get the mean for this given probability, we have to get the mean will be equal to the summation or summation of x multiplied by probability of x. So, again, the summation daw of x multiplied by the probability of x. So, meaning to say, we have to multiply each value of x to its probability and get the sum of it, and that will be the mean. So, what we're going to do is we add an additional column po, wherein yung column signifies the x multiplied by the probability of x. Then you just multiply 0.25 or the probability of x multiplied by x 1 by 1. Meaning to say 0 times 0.25, 1 times 0.35, then 2 times 0.20, 3 times 0.15, and then 4 times 0.04, 5 multiplied by 0.01. So, doing so, in your calculator, I will not show first how you're going to compute this one in your calculator since this is just a minimal computation lang naman. You just multiply. So, I will not show the calculator na lang po. So, 0 multiplied by 0.25 is obviously 0. 1 multiplied by 0.35 is 0.35. And then, let me just fix this one. 2 multiplied by 0.20, the answer is 0.40 or 0.4. And then, 3 times 0.15, the answer is 0.45. And then, 4 times 0.04, the answer is 0.16. And for the last one, 5 multiplied by 0.01 is 0.05. So, now that we already have the values for x multiplied by the probability of x, all we have to do is get the summation of this one, or you add this up, and then we can now get the value of your mu or the mean for this example. So, adding everything, the value for our mu is, so you just add 0 plus 0.35 plus 0.40 plus 0.45 plus 0.16 plus 0.05. The answer will be 1.41 or 1.41 here, and that means that your mu or your mean is equal to 1.41 po. Simple lang. Ganun lang po kinukuha yung mean. So, that's it. Next, for the variance naman. For the variance naman, we can solve for the variance using this formula na the variance daw or sigma squared is equal to the summation of x minus the mean or the quantity of x minus the mean squared multiplied by the probability of x. Then, close bracket. So, the summation daw of the product of probability of x and the quantity of x minus the mean squared. So, ganyan po kukunin yung variance. Ngayon, ma'am, ang dami naman, ang haba naman. Kalma lang kayo. Iisa-isahin natin yan para hindi kayo malito. So, what you're going to do is, first, you construct another column. Column na naman, ma'am. Yes. Wala tayong magagawa. So, column 4, x minus the mean first. Kasi siya yung innermost. Para, di ba sa pag nagsasolve kayo ng sa mathematical sentence, you have to solve for the innermost value first or expression before kayo expand. So, ganun lang din dito sa table. So, ang gagawin po muna natin is x0 minus the mean. Huwag pong pagbabalik ta rin na 1.41 minus the mean kasi your answer will be incorrect. So, ang gagawin po is 0 minus 1.41. The answer is negative 1.41. Next, yung x ulit, 1 minus the mean, which is 1.41. The answer is negative 0.41. Next, 2 minus 1.41. You may use your calculator po. This is just a minimal computation. That's why I wouldn't show the computations using the calculator na lang. So, 2 minus 1.41, the answer is 0.59. And then, 3 minus 1.41, the answer is 1.59. And then, next is 4 minus 1.41, the answer is 2.59. And then, 5 minus 1.41 is 3.59. Next, after getting the difference of x and the mean, we will now square their difference. So, magkakaroon po tayo ulit ng another column for the square of the difference of the mean and the difference between the x and the mean pala. So, you just square this one. In your calculator, meron po siyang function na x square. Hanapin nyo yung ganito yung itsura o kaya naman ay a squared para hindi na ang gagawin nyo is negative 1.41 times negative 1.41. Hindi nang ganon. So, you just type negative 1.41, open and close parenthesis since this is a negative number, tapos you square everything. Tapos, you just press this one, tapos lalabas na sa calculator nyo ay, for example, for this one, ganito yung lalabas sa calculator. Negative 1.41 square. Tapos, you press equal sign, then, magka-come up tayo with an answer. Tapos, yun na po yung ilalagay natin dito. Ngayon, ma'am, if we square this one, ang haba ng lumalabas na numerical values. So, ganito po yung magiging kasunduan natin. Lahat po ng kukumputin natin ay laging 2 decimal places lang. Hindi tayo, pag nag-e-exceed yung values na nakukuha natin in our calculator, nag-e-exceed sa 2 decimal places, you round it off to 2 decimal places as always po. Ibig sabihin, lagi, kada makakakuha kayo ng value or number na nag-e-exceed sa 2 decimal places, edi you just get or you just round it off to the nearest second decimal number. Ngayon, ma'am, paano pagka whole number yung lumabas? Paano po pag isang decimal place lang yung lumabas? Edi walang problema, edi retain it as it is. Ang usapan lang naman natin is pag nag-exceed. Pero if, dahil sa module po, nagre-reflect is yung gumamit sila ng 4 na decimal places, if sa written works ninyo ay gumamit po kayo ng 4 decimal places, then sige po, pagbibigyan ko na kayo. Pero sa ngayon lang ha, next time po, you wait for my instructions and mali ko din, hindi ko na i-include yun sa instructions dun sa document na binigay ko sa inyo for written works and performance tasks. So, sige, pagbibigyan ko na lang kayo if ang nagamit is 4 decimal places. Walang problema. You just passed it, whatever it is. So, ngayon po, computing 1.41 or negative 1.41 squared is 1.988. 1. Next, negative 0.41 squared is 0.1681. Next, 0.59 squared or 0.59 squared, the answer is 0.3481. And then 1.59 squared is 2.5281. And then next, 2.59 squared is 6.7081. And then for the last one, 3.59 squared is 12.8881. So, last step in finding or in getting the variance of this one, what we're going to do po is we multiply the product of this one, itong column na to, by this column. So, again, imo-multiply natin to by this column. Meaning to say, 1.9881 multiplied by 0.25. So, another column for x minus mu quantity squared multiplied by the probability of x. So, what we're going to do is 1.9881 multiplied by 0.25. So, the answer is, you just round it off to, if you use a 4 decimal places, edi okay lang. Pero I highly suggest 2 lang para we will not deal with a lot of numbers. So, ito ay magiging 0. Let's just first use yung 4 decimal numbers. 0.4970. Next, 0.1681 multiplied by 0.35. The answer is 0.0588. Next, 0.20 multiplied by, or 0.2 multiplied by 0.3481. The answer is 0.0696. 696. Next, 0.15 multiplied by 2.52881. Then the answer is 0.3792. And then 6.7081 multiplied by 0.04. The answer is 0.2683. Next, last one. Ayan, nakikita ko na ang liwanag. 881 multiplied by 0.01. The answer po is 0.1289. So, if you will add everything for this column, the value for your variance will be equal to, let me erase this one. Sorry. The value for our variance is equal to 1.4019. And getting the standard deviation, all you have to do is square root this one. You square this one, you get the square root. So, we will have the value of the standard deviation as approximately, we will have 1.184. So, that's it. So, that's how we're going to identify the mean and the standard deviation or the variance also for a given problem under probability. So, ngayon po, if you'll ask me, Ma'am, do we have to go through this series of process. Pwede bang matalino naman ako, kaya ko naman ng idiretso dito? Wala naman pong problema sa akin if kaya nyo na siyang idiretso dito. Pero for the sake of scoring purposes, we have to go through this series of process. Kasi po, bawat column and bawat data na nilalagay nyo dyan is may equivalent na points. So, for scoring purposes, kailangan nyo pong gawin tong buong table na ito. And you have to show how did you obtain the mean and for the standard, the variance and as well as the standard deviation. Okay po. So if this is not enough, I will still give two examples on how we're going to compute mean and standard deviation or variance given a probability problem.